is that guy's problem? Hey, I am Chuck the bureaucrat, and in the halls of bureaucracy, there is a particular phenomenon that I would describe as the bully. And so, understanding this SOB and learning what makes him act this way is key to your success. To set the stage, at any point in time, there are these really big meetings going on. The number of people at the meeting might not be that large, but the importance of the meeting is very high. In the Pentagon, these typically take the form of monthly meetings that are chaired by political appointees or by service chiefs or 4-stars. These regular meetings are often designed to address one big annual issue, some kind of decision that has to be made. The attendees to the meeting represent a wide array of offices who either have influence on the decision that's going to get made or are affected by the decision. So you might imagine some kind of equipping forum where they've got representatives for all sorts of different pieces of equipment that the military buys, like vehicles and weapon systems and communications. And that training and manpower folks would attend these meetings because they're concerned with how to balance the training pipeline and the MOSs against these new pieces of equipment. The monthly meeting with the big guy is usually preceded by one, sometimes two preparatory meetings. These preparatory meetings are often a mix of rehearsal and scrimmage. All the action officers and directors who have to prep their executives for the big meeting are fighting to establish and defend their boss's position. In fact, these meetings before the meetings are often more volatile and abrasive than the actual executive meetings tend to be. And so you will often find the bully prowling these preparatory meetings, cracking skulls and twisting arms. And I'm telling you, the more important the decision, the more likely this character is going to be on the scene. What's more, they tend to be an 06 or in some cases a senior lieutenant colonel, and they tend to be on the staff of the executive who chairs the meeting. If they're not on the staff of the executive who makes the big decision, then they're on the staff of an executive that guy puts a lot of pressure on to make sure that things turn out okay. The first time you go to one of these meetings, the guy I'm calling the bully can seem like one of the most cold-blooded, vicious, mean SOBs you have ever seen. People will walk out of the meeting going, what the hell is his problem? Yeah, I get it. But that is why it's so important to identify and understand the bully. You see, this behavior is not the result of some schoolyard punk just picking on the little guys. It is almost always a manifestation of fear, frustration, and anger on the part of the big boss who owns the meeting. That political appointee is never going to show the minions just how panicked he is with the direction things are taking. But some of these forums are like runaway semis sliding down an icy mountain road. I mean, think about recruiting, retention, end-of-year manpower numbers, manpower spending, training schedules. All of this is connected and completely outside the control of any one person. And that political appointee is responsible for making it all arrive safely at the end of the year, even though sometimes it doesn't look too good. Anyways, that political appointee cannot be seen running frantically in circles and shaking general officers by their lapels. So instead, he has his bully. But so what? Well, number one, you want to be able to identify the bully. Who is the person doing the butt kicking? And the reason identification matters is because you have to ask the follow-on question. Who does the bully work for? You see, you follow the rating chain of the bully, and you will find the executive who is really worried about the decisions being made in this forum. And number two, You want to understand the bully. You want to know, what is the real issue? And it would be nice if the bully could just clearly state it, but in a lot of cases and for a lot of different reasons, he sometimes can't. See, one of the things to understand about the bully is that he is essentially an abused child. He is working for some senior GO or executive who is not nice to him. In fact, somebody explained it to me like this one time. He said, "Every day I go to meet with my 3-star, and my 3-star kicks me in the nuts as hard as he can, because I'm the only person he can kick." And so this guy, who was genuinely a kind-hearted human being, he would come out like a raging bull and spread the trauma around. But that gets back to my point that sometimes these bullies can't really articulate the real issue. Sometimes it's because their bosses don't understand what's really going on. Sometimes it's because there's political forces that the big bosses don't want to explain in public forum. Sometimes it's because the root causes of problems are far too tangled. Sometimes it's just because the bully himself is too overwhelmed to do anything more than just lash out. And so, the presence and the intensity of a bully indicates some underlying strategic problem. But you might have to do some digging to figure out what is really at the heart of the matter. And finally, let me close with this point. I do not like bullies. I was a little kid growing up, and bullies would just zero in on me. And the thing I learned was that bullies had to be dealt with. But what I really didn't like was people who didn't stand up to bullies. Nothing gets one geek's butt kicked faster than the rest of the geek squad acting like tolerating bullies is just sort of the natural state of things. So, as much as I say, know who the bully is and understand them, stand up to them. Answer their questions, help them solve whatever crisis is plaguing the organization, but do not tolerate bad behavior. Don't let them abuse you, and certainly do not let them abuse other people. In fact, I got a whole thing about the strong protect the weak, and the dead giveaway that somebody is not strong is that they attack the weak. And if you want to see a little bit more about this, watch this video.